Looks like the Red Sox could be open to selling off some really big pieces. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. I really didn't want to have a conversation about the Red Sox selling, but here we are. Now, I don't know the results of the game that you guys watched yesterday, as I'm pre-recording some videos from my very poorly timed family vacation this year, so I'm trying to get as much done as possible. Hopefully it was a good game, but either way, regardless, how the Red Sox have come out of this All-Star break could be an indication of what the Red Sox are going to do at this year's deadline, and that was sort of confirmed yesterday. So what we are going to do in today's video is we're going to talk about the latest rumors surrounding the Red Sox trade deadline thoughts and what they mean for the 2024 team. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. So Corbin, what are we talking about here? Well, yesterday, Alex Spear released an article in which he went over the latest surrounding the Red Sox deadline, and he mentioned that while the Red Sox are still looking for ways to improve this baseball team, they haven't fully closed the door on trading anyone away either. In fact, the exact quote was, tellingly, even as the Red Sox explore potential upgrades, according to Major League sources, they haven't ruled out the possibility of dealing away high-end rental players such as Kenley Jansen, Nick Pivetta, or Tyler O'Neill. Obviously, the bar to do so would be high, especially now, given that the team remains very much in the wild card mix, but not necessarily in Super Bowl. Basically, what Alex Spear is saying here is that the Boston Red Sox right now are still kind of dead in the middle of the road. They don't know which way they're going to end up going at this year's deadline, and the next few games are absolutely going to determine that. It also sounds like the Red Sox may be open to the idea of both buying and selling, which isn't exactly surprising considering I think a lot of us as fans mentioned that possibility a couple of months ago and have been mentioning that possibility over the last couple of weeks as well. Both buying and selling can be useful and can still be productive for this Red Sox team. It's just very risky to do. But again, this isn't a surprise. In fact, there are more people saying this than ever. Jeff Passan just came out with an article yesterday where he talked about what he thinks each team is going to do at the deadline, and here's what he had to say about the Boston Red Sox. Quote, "There are dueling thoughts within the organization that run into direct conflict with one another. Don't love that right off the bat. On one hand, the Red Sox have overachieved, so pushing some chips into the middle would reward a group that warrants such. On the other, they'll soon transition to a younger core, with Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, Kyle Teel, and Christian Campbell all almost big league ready, and in the AL East, it pays to have one eye as much on the future as the other is on the present. The Red Sox will be busy. They might just be the sort to nibble on the margins both ways." Not exactly super encouraging for Red Sox fans to hear, or at least I think most Red Sox fans when it comes to what they want the Red Sox to do at this year's deadline. Now, the most interesting thing to me about all of this is that it goes against entirely what Craig Breslow has said essentially since he came to the Boston Red Sox. Basically, since joining this organization, even before the season began, he made it a point that he is either going to pick a lane. He is going to either be a seller or a buyer. So it's interesting to me that it's coming out right now that he's sort of stuck in the middle. Now, one thing I do want to point out that we talked about in this quote here is that there are conflicting theories on what the Red Sox are going to do. My question is that conflicting theories amongst analysts, or is that conflicting theories amongst people in this front office? Because if it's conflicting theories amongst people in this front office, that's a really bad sign. It means that things are not cohesive in this front office right now, and that's something the Red Sox have kind of dealt with over the last few years as well, and it hasn't exactly worked out in their favor. I really hate the fact that Jeff Passan may be kind of quietly pointing towards that idea. I also think it's super interesting that Craig Breslow has changed his tune a little bit. Now, things can change. The Red Sox are sort of swimming in that middle lane right now, especially after what they've done after this year's All-Star break, right? They're sort of dead in the middle of the road. They could go either way, and it would make sense to go both ways. So it makes sense that they're open to all possibilities and also open to staying right there in the middle of the road. And again, like I said, that could be successful for sure, and you can improve this team while also building for the future by doing both. The problem is it's a very thin line to do so. You have to balance what it's going to mean to the clubhouse, what it's going to mean to the players on the field, and what it's going to mean for the next couple of years. Is losing Kenley Jansen worth getting those prospects back? And are you able to make a move to supplement the loss of that guy both on the field and in the clubhouse? That's the big question here. And it's really interesting to me that Breslow sort of totally switched up strategies right now, or has apparently totally switched up strategies. We aren't going to know for at least a couple more days what it's going to end up being. But my question is, was this Breslow's idea or was this someone else's? But the other thing we need to talk about is what this could mean for the 2024 Sox. So before we do that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Sox almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Not only does it help these videos out a ton, but it's the best way you can let me know you're enjoying the content we are putting out. Thank you all very much for taking a second and doing so. Let's talk about what this could mean for the 2024 Red Sox. Now, to be honest with you, if the Red Sox were to go out and they were to sell all of their expiring contracts, there's really no possibility of that being a middle-of-the-road approach. That would be the definition of selling because it would kind of decimate this team. For example, the Red Sox' two biggest problems right now are that they, one, can't close out games, and two, hit lefty pitching. Well, trading your closer makes it a whole lot more difficult to actually close out games, and trading away the player who has given you the most power against left-handed pitching this entire season, especially over these last couple of games, because quietly Tyler O'Neill has been killing left-handed pitching and no one's been talking about it, probably makes it a little bit difficult to fill both of those roles, right? You were essentially taking your two biggest problems right now and you're making them even bigger. In order to be able to not be full sellers and do this, you're going to create a much bigger laundry list of problems that you're going to have to solve in a very short period of time. Not to mention the overarching problem the Red Sox have had this entire season, and something we've talked about a lot on this channel is the fact that Red Sox pitchers are unbelievably inexperienced. Basically, every single guy on this staff has never pitched a full season in Major League Baseball in the rotation before. Nick Pivetta is the only player in this rotation that has done that at least once in their career. He may not be the best statistical pitcher the Red Sox have, but he is the most reliable pitcher in terms of innings that the Red Sox currently have. Trading him away just makes that need even bigger. Again, can you solve it? Sure. This depends on what the Red Sox believe are coming off the IL in the next couple of weeks. Trading Kenley Jansen wouldn't be the end of the world if Liam Hendriks is coming back pretty soon right after he's gone. Now, is that a possibility? Absolutely. The problem with that is that this isn't a sure thing. Liam Hendriks could come back and it could take him a month to get fully used to pitching in Major League Baseball again. He hasn't done it in a pretty decently long period of time. In terms of Tyler O'Neill, there's not really any solution on this current 40-man roster to the Red Sox right-handed problem. Honestly, there's not really much of a solution down in AAA as well. A guy like Nick York has been absolutely killing it at the AAA level, but he's only been doing it for a month or so. Are you going to be comfortable giving up both of these players and trying to find a solution within your organization or outside of your organization in the allotted time given to you before July 30th? I would venture to say no. By doing any of these things, you are essentially selling. They may try and sell this fan base on, hey, we brought in a couple of really great prospects, and hey, this is a guy who hits lefty pitchers. He's not fantastic, but he definitely hits lefties, and this guy has a 3.9 in the bullpen this year. We think we can work with him and try and pass it off as both buying and selling. But in my opinion, if you're starting to sell off these expired contracts, you're selling. That is what Craig Breslow is doing despite what he brings in. Again, unless he can absolutely blow fans away with who he brings in, which I just don't see the Red Sox capable of or willing to do with the prices that players are going to be at this year's deadline. So this could have an absolutely massive effect on what the 2024 Red Sox look like going into the month of August. Now, the big thing to take away here is one of the things that Alex Spears said, and that is the fact that these guys' prices right now is currently extremely high. That's going to make it extremely difficult for anyone to put enough on the table to get any of these guys off the Boston Red Sox, which is a good thing for fans like me who don't want this team to sell despite what's been going on since the All-Star break. For fans that do want this team to sell, well, this probably isn't fantastic news for you. But at the end of the day, what this means is that these names are on the table, and to me, That's a really scary thought. I know some of you guys are jumping for joy right now as you've wanted the Red Sox to sell since day one, but for people who want this team to continue to compete, these guys being on the table is a really scary idea and absolutely would probably mean the end of a competitive Boston Red Sox in the year of 2024. I just want competitive baseball in September and August. Is that too much to ask from this Red Sox organization right now? It kind of feels like it is. But either way, again, right now, this is just rumors. We don't have any concrete evidence that the Boston Red Sox are leaning one way or the other. My opinion, if they didn't win yesterday and you're watching this today, they're probably leaning towards selling. If they did win yesterday, they still got to win tonight, and they got to do really well against the Yankees and beat Seattle in their first game before the deadline, and we've got an entirely different conversation. But until then, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? What do you think the Red Sox should do with these guys? Do you think it's a legitimate possibility that they do get sold or that the Red Sox sell in general? And if they do sell any of these players, what do you think that means for the 2024 Red Sox? Let me know all your thoughts on the latest Red Sox trade rumors in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Again, it not only helps these videos out a ton, but it's the best way you can let me know you're enjoying the content we are putting out. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.